All right, a few of you have asked me to do a video review on my custom Badger tool belts, electrician bags. So Joel made these for me, I think it was 2022. I had these built. This was before they had the production line for the electrician's bags. We went back and forth through emails, came up with this design, what worked for me at the time and what I was doing. When I had these bags made, I was doing residential multi-unit, big 400 or 500 unit apartment complexes, things where I'm very far away from my truck or the Connex or where material was. So I needed a bag that can hold a lot of fasteners, a lot of material, and then all the tools that I needed. And so this is what I came up with, what works for me. So we'll start with the dominant side bag. So I used the silhouette of the trim pouch. So no tool slot up here or anything. You just have your open pouch, smaller pouch on the outside, and then all the standard features. So hammer holster, just your standard. Up front, you have this smaller pocket and then a deeper one behind it. And then there's also this little secret pocket back here, which is kind of useless. If you have anything in here, you're gonna dump it trying to get to it. So that's how I set mine up. I just always had Pica, and then I'm a big fan of the Stanley 99s, Lennox Gold tips, best blades on the market. So that's that. Out here on the outside is where I used to keep my wire nuts. This was actually my favorite feature ever that Badger does. I'm right-handed. I twist my wire nuts with my right hand. I don't like having to grab it from my left side, switch hands, put it on my right side. So that's actually super nice to have. And then it has this sleeve back here, which perfectly fits, and I don't have one close by, but the little right in the rain, no pads, fits perfectly right there. If you need to write a list out, if you need to go grab material or anything, super convenient, awesome to have. All the bags come standard with this little gear loop back here. It's probably meant for like a nail gun or something with a deeper hook, but your standard like impact hooks and stuff like that, you kind of kick it off. I used to just sleeve it right through here and hang it off the front, and it worked just fine, or I'd have it on the back of my tool belt when I wasn't using it. So on to the main fun part. Once I rip everything out, we'll be able to see it a lot better. But I went with 3 tool slots across the back, 4 screwdriver slots, and then there's these 2 outer divider pockets that we'll get to in a minute. So I only ever carry 2 screwdrivers with me for the majority of my entire electrical career, and that is flathead, 1/4 inch shank, and then a square number 2 for terminations. I like a good long 6-inch blade, keeps your hands out of the panel, far away, and these Weehaws are super nice. The feeling of the handle's great. I like a good insulated screwdriver. That's just me. So there's those. And then, so originally you can kind of see it better in here. Let me move the other way. I had it set up to have 3 tool slots back here. There's actually another one right here. And I had talked with Joel on how I wanted to lay it out. And so I wanted my needle nose up front, my linemen's in the middle, and then diagonal cutters in the back. So I needed this pouch to be a little bit bigger to be able to fit your bulky linemen's. Well, what that ended up causing is this pocket had to be much smaller. And then I just found that when it was on me, it was just very tight. I didn't like it. That's on me. That's not a manufacturer issue or anything. So I just ended up taking my needle nose and sticking them in that extra screwdriver slot right there. Works perfectly fine, never been an issue, and that's how I ran it for years. So up front here on the outside is where I keep my wire strippers, just in there ready to go. As I said, needle nose, boom. Diagonal cutters in the back, and then alignments up front, right in the middle. These are my most commonly grabbed tools, what I use the most. So there's a view of all the slots and compartments. And then one thing I did, so this compartment here is just a pass-through sleeve. It goes all the way to the bottom of the pouch. So you can fit super long tools in there nicely if you need to. And what I had him do, it's hard to do this one-handed. This front pouch is sewn at the bottom, so things can't slide down in there. And I used to use that to put different markers or like a tweaker screwdriver or other smaller things that I didn't want to get lost down in here. This just kind of helped it stay in place nicely. So that's that. Hammer sleeve. It's great. That's the only thing. If I ever went to Badgers again, I would just do 2 slots here and then keep doing the same setup with my needle nose. So that's that. Then the fun part is the non-dominant fastener bag, excuse me. So I went with the Carpenter side by side so I can hold tons of material. So big tape pouch here, easily fits a 25. I ran a 16 most days. You have all these bit slots back here. You got 4 smaller ones, and then it's hard to see without good light. There's 2 bigger ones down here in the bottom. If you rock a 25 and put a bunch of bits in here, it is tight. I actually kept my bits somewhere else, but he threw this in there, and it's a nice little feature. So I'm gonna work top down to the bottom, and we'll just go through it. So in the main compartment, you have full-size speed square slot here. And then typically it just comes with one smaller pouch that goes the whole length of this. I had him sew up the middle here. And what I would do is my phone would live right in here. And then I had a sleeve back here to fit my 10-inch water pump pliers. Not a tool you're using super often, and so I kept it on my left side, excuse me, so it's out of the way and I don't have to worry about it. But fits super nicely there. If you're ever working with compression fittings, it's nice to have a pair on your left side, throw another pair on the right side, and you can grab right hand, left hand, so on and so forth. So that's that. And then down in here is just one big open pouch. These bags sit really nicely open. They don't collapse on you, so it's really easy to shove your hand down in here, especially if you're wearing thicker gloves. Living in Idaho, winters get pretty cold up here. So, you know, you can throw all the fittings, all your RC50s, whatever you need for the day, stock it up, ready to go. Then we have our fastener bags. So up front, and again, this normally, if you just get a side-by-side bag off the shelf, it has one compartment that goes all the way across, kind of like this guy. And so I had him sew this right up the middle, 50-50, and I would keep all my bits up here in the front. I like the long 6-inch bits, so gotta have a spade, holes, locking extension if you need to make that longer. Malco flip bit, 5/16, 3/8. Cover all your hex head fasteners. And then the Racketeer's flip bit, you got your square 2 and your Phillips. And then more and more frequently in the electrical trade, you're running into Torx, typically with having to deal with other contractors and stuff. So this is a 25 and a 20, I believe. So kept that with me, and then gotta keep a death stick on you at all times, and then a little flashlight if I need to just kind of check something out real quick. So that's that. And then you have this big open pouch down here. Typically I would put drywall screws in the front, and then whatever other fastener means I need back here, typically staples or whatever. And then in the back, I need a slot for my level. I have another one of those tools that I think should just be on the left side. Grab it with your left hand, you're holding something with your right hand, throw the level on, get it level, mark it, move on. So level sleeve. And then wanted a slot over here to keep my beater. Same thing. Grab your beater with your left hand, grab your hammer with your right hand, go to work. You don't have to move your hands back and forth, trade tools from side to side. So that held that. And that's basically it. Got a cat's paw sleeve on the back. Never really used it, but that's there. All in all, amazing bags. I've had 0 issues with quality, 0 issues with tear, rips, no puncture holes. All the pouches are reinforced at the bottom, so you're not poking through on it. Like I said, I kept staples in here for years and drywall screws in here for years. And no problems, no issues. You know, they stay open, nice and wide, super easy to grab stuff out of it. Very lightweight. If you've ever used like Occidental bags, those were my first setup that I had. They were awesome and extremely heavy. Switched over to nylon, I'll never go back. Yeah, overall, super awesome product. Super enjoyed every minute of it. I stopped using these at work because I no longer do big apartment projects like that. I do commercial work now, so 95% of the time I'm working off a cart with a Vito bag, and that gets me by. On the off chance that I am running around with bags, I actually switched over. I've been testing out the Diamondback stuff. You see it everywhere on the internet. I wanted to see what all the hype was about. So still rocking the Badger tool belt. Best tool belt ever made on the market. These suspenders, hands down, kick any other suspenders on the market. I am a huge fan of the 3-point system. So single strap in the back instead of the 2. Right here, there's a soft piece of webbing that helps these articulate, so your straps aren't rubbing on your neck all day long. Super comfortable. You got a little D-ring to hang it up if you take lunch or whatever. Love those suspenders. So, but yeah, these barely ever get used anymore. Like I said, I'm throwing a couple tools in my pants, and that's what we're doing nowadays. So hope this answered some of your questions. If you're looking into getting a custom setup built, Joel is awesome. His team is amazing. We probably sent 15, 20 emails back and forth. You know, I went on their Instagram page, found bags, took screenshots, drew on them, told him exactly where my pockets were, the exact tools I wanted in, the brands, so he had dimensions to work with. And yeah, came out awesome. You can pick whatever colorway you want. They have tons of customization options available. So if you're interested in getting a custom set, if the bags on the market aren't working for what you do, it's worth a go. So hope this helps, and that'll do. Have a great day.